So today's class is inspired by the pose Humble Warrior. And Humble Warrior represents a surrender. Okay? And what brought me to that pose is the idea of extending grace. Because I've had several conversations this week with people that are having a really difficult time, not kind of staying in their own lane rather than judging what everyone else is doing, right? So here's the deal. None of us have been in this situation before, and all of our feelings are valid, okay? And how we behave, it's up to us. And it doesn't mean that we don't have an opinion about something, but what becomes important for our own energy, our own nervous system, is to stay in our own lane, do what we do, send grace their way. I have used this since the first week. I was really having a hard time with that. And I was on a talk with one of my groups that I do in the mornings, and they suggested, extending grace. And I thought how important that is to remember that when I start getting frustrated about what other people are doing, whether it's in my house or whether it's out there, whatever. So that's really helped me. And today I have one of my favorite readings to kind of go along with this. It's the prayer of St. Francis. And completely by accident, Erin told me this is, Palm Sunday. I didn't plan on it. It just worked out that way. But it is one of my favorite prayers. And no matter what you believe, this is, I think, a poignant piece to come to when we are having a hard time extending grace and finding that place within us to be of service, and also practicing gratitude. And I remember my mom is the one that turned me on to this. It was quite a few years ago. I was having a really hard time. I was running a yoga studio, and that was just not meant for me. And I was having a hard time, and I just wanted to quit. And she said, here, and she gave me this, and it's been on my reading list ever since. So the prayer of St. Francis: Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. Grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. So whatever your belief system is, I think the bottom line is coming from our heart, which is really how we're supposed to be communicating anyway. And again, that's not without discernment, that's not without opinion, because that's called no boundaries, and we don't want that. But what it is just remembering, how can we bring a little bit of good, right? No matter what that is, even if it's just like, okay, I'm going to hold myself up in my room and not being around anybody and just sit and breathe. I've done that a couple days. So whatever it is that you need. So again, when we have our practice today, Humble Warrior is in that practice, and the asana tell a story. Each asana does, and there is a meaning behind the asana. And so you might even think about, what is it something that you need to surrender? Because one of the causes of suffering is attachment. And I think we're finding a lot of those things that we're attached to, that we're without now. And, what are the importance of those? How do we shift that energy? And then the other thing that you found in your email was, I had a link to the Yoga Nidra worksheet. Because at the end, we're going to be practicing Yoga Nidra. And those of you that haven't practiced Yoga Nidra, it's a guided meditation, so to speak. But I also call it the ancient neuroscience, because it is about planting seeds that we want. Okay, so we have these beliefs that are called samskaras, and those beliefs, we tell the story over and over and over again, and it hardwires our brain into telling that story over and over again, even if it's something that happened 20 years ago. So the idea with the Yoga Nidra is to set an intention or an sankalpa, which is to create a new belief. Now, here's the thing behind science. The science says that our brain won't respond if we don't feel it. So when we create this intention or sankalpa, you want to be able to feel it. Okay, so I'm telling you this now so that you can start thinking about it. Maybe as you're practicing, it might come to you. What do you need? Okay, so for example, if you're feeling unsafe right now because of everything going on, right, or you're a little bit more, you're a little bit feeling closed in, right, because it feels like sometimes we don't really have choices right now. We want to come up with something opposite that's true, right? So I would say, if I was feeling anxious or unsafe right now, I would say, I would look around and I would probably envision myself on the couch with my cat, where I've been a lot lately, and get the feeling of safety and security and groundedness and think, I am safe, right? So instead of thinking I'm unsafe, or I'm not provided for, I would say I am safe, I am provided for, all is well. And what we do with that sankalpa is we repeat it multiple times. Now, with Yoga Nidra, it gets you into a state, maybe not the first time, it's a multiple practice, but where you really implant that in your subconscious mind so that you start to rewire the brain to move your story into a more helpful view rather than going into the negative. And again, it's a lifelong process. And times like these uncover a lot of things that we thought we took care of before. So I'm just telling you that, science also says that if we write, the brain responds better to it. So when I work with my coaching clients, it's write, always. It's part of the work that we do. So you'd have that there. And then finally, at the end, you're going to want to be comfortable. And so I did put in the email to make sure that you have a bolster, blanket, whatever it is that you may need to be comfortable. You can also sit. You don't have to lay down to do it. You can also sit. So I think I'm going to have to go let my dog out. I don't know if you can hear my dog.
I got it.
He's got it. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started, and we're going to come onto the mat in child's pose. Now, again, remember, every time that I offer you a position, you take a position that feels best to you. So as you come into child's pose, the arms can be extended and long, or you can have the elbows bent. Okay? And if it's uncomfortable to come all the way down, you can always take a blanket or a pillow, a bolster, in between your hamstrings and your calves. And you want to spread your hands nice and wide, even if the elbows are down. And just start to breathe. So we're going to breathe space into the body. As you inhale, you want to fill your lungs up as much as you can. Full deep breath. Pause at the top of the breath. And as you exhale, completely empty your lungs, pausing at the bottom of the breath. And that connection to the yoga is the breath. If you're not breathing, we're not getting the full effect of the practice. So inhale, feel your body expand and open, feel a little bit lighter. As you exhale, the body gets a little bit more centered, stable, supported. Just start to connect with the ebb and flow of your breath, that natural ebb and flow. And every time you're practicing and you start to veer away from your breath, you want to bring that attention back. You can go ahead and start your playlist now if you'd like. And now on your next inhale, we're going to walk your hands to the right. And then pull that left hip away from the left shoulder. So creating a crescent shape in the left side body. Then breathing space into the ribs. Inhale and come back to center, get long. And then exhale, walk those hands to the left, draw that right hip away from the shoulder and the shoulder away from the hip. So opposing actions to create space around the ribs to help that diaphragm breathe a little bit more. And inhale and come back to center and up to all fours. So if you're not used to being on your knees, you can place a blanket underneath your knees for a little bit more support if you like. We're going to start to get long from the tailbone all the way through the crown of the head, and then connect movement with your breath. So as you inhale, you're going to drop the belly, look up. Exhale, press into the earth, chin to chest. Couple more just like that. So breath with movement. Inhale, open the body. Exhale, close the body at your own pace. And then coming back to a neutral spine, you're going to shift your weight into the left palm. Inhale, right arm up. So look up at your thumb. So we're going to thread the needle, but just a flowing needle. Okay? So as you exhale, I'm going to draw that arm through, come down to the shoulder, press into the earth, inhale, rise, gaze up at your thumb. And then opening across the chest. Exhale, thread it through. Inhale, float it up. Exhale, thread it through. Inhale, float it up. And from here, you're going to bring that right hand down. Extend the left leg behind you, just like so. Zip up that belly, engage the belly. Inhale, extend, right arm forward. So maybe the foot's lifted, maybe the arm's lifted, maybe you have one limb down. It doesn't matter, whatever feels best to you. So you're going to flex that back foot. That's going to be helpful for balance today. So as I flex my foot, it stabilizes the hip and you extend through the crown of the head. Okay? Now, wherever you are, maybe you hold or maybe you add some pulses to work that upper, the backside body. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, release. Just like little pulsing actions can activate the muscles of the back side of the body. A lot of us need that right now because we're sitting so much. The back side of the body is getting overly stretched out. Just building that muscle there. Now find your range of motion and hold it there, still breathing. You can always come out, right? You can always come out to the stage before. And then from there, we're going to take that left leg, reach it behind you. So I'm going to take it across that right leg, gazing back at your heel. And then inhale and come back to neutral with the torso. Now from here, I'm going to bring my left knee to the outside of my right. Then as you're ready, exhale, shift back a little or a lot. It doesn't matter. Actually, a little or a lot. I got that from DeAnna, and she's on the class with us today. I stole that cue from her many years ago. Not many, but a couple. It feels like a long time. Just breathing space into your hips. Inhale, slowly come back to center, so then bring the knees down. So we're going to get ready to do this on the other side. So inhale, left arm up. Exhale, thread it through. Press into the earth. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, thread it through. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, thread it through. Last time, I'm going to inhale, look up. Bring the hand down, back to tabletop position. This time, I'm going to take your right leg behind, zip up, belly button in towards the spine. Maybe the foot lifts, flexed. Maybe the left arm extends, the spinal balance. Now you can stay there or pulse. And you can even choose, maybe you pulse the leg. If you have any kind of lower back, hip issues, this is a really great one to do just to focus on the lower body. And then from there, we're going to find a place and hold. So find your range of motion, wherever that will be. And then from there, you're going to take that foot or that foot around, gaze back at your foot, your heel, open that right side body. And inhale, we'll come back to center. Now you're going to take your right knee to the outside of the left, and then exhale, press back a little or a lot. Okay. And where do you want to feel the stretch in your muscles and the meat of the muscle, right? So if you're feeling it at the joint level, in the knee, up in the hip, okay, where the origin of the muscle is, it's a little too much, so you want to ease out. So less is more. You feel it in the meat of the muscles, like that's right in the center, but then moving up into the joints. And then inhale, we're going to come back to tabletop position. And making our way into downward facing dog, we're going to curl the toes under, just kind of hover your knees. You're going to lift the tailbone up as you sweep the heart towards your upper thighs. And maybe engaging the thigh muscles. Maybe you can look on the toes and press the heels down. And then from there, you're going to slowly walk your feet forward. Knees are bent. And from here, you grab a towel or a strap if you'd like. I've got one with me, so I'm going to take it with me. To rise up, engage the belly, press through the feet, maybe hands to your hips. Inhale, rise all the way up. We're going to take your strap in your hands if you need it, or you can clasp your hands together. Okay? It doesn't matter about getting the hands together. What we want to feel is an opening in the shoulders and across the chest. Okay, from all that rounding that we're doing, I know a lot of us are doing a lot of Netflix binges and whatnot. So we're going to come here, inhale, lift through the heart, bend your knees, exhale, fold, belly, ribs, chest to the thighs. So it doesn't matter how straight your knees are. Doesn't matter. Okay. So you've got your strap and allow gravity to kind of take over as you relax into the shoulder. Okay. So I have a shoulder issue right now, so I don't go as deep. Okay. I'm taking it a little bit easier. So you choose where you want to go. And as you're in your forward fold, maybe engage the thigh muscles. See if you can get the hamstrings to release a little bit more. And then release that strap to the side. Bring your hands to your shins. Inhale, lift halfway. So we're reconnecting to the breath. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift half. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift half. Exhale, fold. Bend into your knees, press through the feet, maybe hands to your hips, slowly rise, inhale all the way up. So build our sternum-scar A for those of you that want to add a little bit more flow. When you go for it, you can always skip some of this flow piece, and I'll show you that in just a second. So we're going to root down, lift your toes, so you feel yourself root down and relax the toes. Inhale, lift the arms up, maybe a little back bend, maybe cactus arms. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold, maybe bending your knees a little or a lot. Inhale, lift half. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands down and step it back to plank pose. Now, knees down are an option. Okay. There's somewhere in between. We're going to practice lowering down. Okay? So as you exhale, elbows are towards the back of the room, maybe lower. Maybe press through the palms to your eyes. So find your range of motion. Some of you may be in full plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale, rise. A couple more, just like that. You choose where you want to be. And as you exhale, lower, maybe all the way down. Hands underneath the shoulders. Inhale, lift the heart. Okay. So 2 different ways we're going to transition into downward facing dog. So maybe you go from here, you come down, inhale, upward facing dog, exhale, downward facing dog. Or the other option is to press through the palms, shift back, child's pose, downward facing dog. Okay, so you choose. To add a little bit more movement with the breath, gaze between the hands, you can hop it or step it forward, forward fold. Inhale, lift half. Exhale, fold. Plant through the feet. Inhale, rise all the way up. Maybe a back bend at the top. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift half. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands. Step it back to your plank. Knees down are an option. Exhale, lower chaturanga or all the way down. Inhale, your back bend. Exhale, child's pose first and down or directly into downward facing. A couple more just like that. Maybe it's feeling a little heat in the body, or you can hold in downward facing. So step forward. Inhale, lift half. Exhale, fold. Plant through the feet. Inhale, rise. Spine long as you come up. Back bend at the top. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift half. Exhale, plant the hands, hop or step it back, plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale, your back bend. Exhale, downward facing your way. Got one more, just like that. Gaze between the hands. Exhale, step or float. Uttanasana. Inhale, lift half. Exhale, fold. Plant through the feet. Inhale, rise all the way up. Back bend at the top. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift half. Exhale, plant the hands, step or float it back. One more flow through your way. Follow your breath. Now from your downward facing, inhale, reach your left leg up and flex it, just like we did on the ground, nice and stable. Exhale, bring the knee to the nose and bring that foot all the way through. Now another way to get through is bring your right knee down, left leg through, just like that. You're gonna root down through the feet, inhale, rise, crescent. Hands can be down at your hips or your heart. The level of intensity is going to depend on you today. You're going to engage that right quad. Now, if you're feeling like you're a little out of balance, open your feet up a little bit wider, create a little bit more space in your pelvis. If you feel like that back knee is bent a lot, imagine there's a block behind you or a wall and press that heel into it. See if you get a little bit more stability up there in the hip. Now in preparation for your balance, think about when we were in the spinal balance on all fours. We're going to find that inner core line for warrior 3. So as you exhale, maybe hinge forward, get long, shift your weight into the left foot, right leg comes up. Now I've got my left knee bent, you can keep it bent or you can straighten it. Back foot can be down and you can practice hinging just a little bit. So you figure out where your balance is. You have this opposing action of pressing equally through both feet, right? Hands can be forward, more intensity, out to the side, behind you, whatever feels good. Couple more breaths to find it. It's okay if gravity wins, you can come out and then come back in. Now you're going to trust that right foot to land. So bend into your left leg, right foot comes down. Inhale back to your crescent. Exhale, right hand down, left arm up into a twist. Back knee can stay up or you can bring it down, your choice. Now as you're twisting, notice if you're kind of shifting to the outside of that left foot a little bit. If you are, take the foot out to the side, closer to the edge of your mat, and really root down through the four corners. Now from here, you're going to spiral that back heel down. Press to the feet, inhale, rise. We're going to pass through warrior two. So adjust, back toe maybe turned in a little bit, front knee above the ankle or slightly behind it. Turn the front palm up, inhale, reverse. Now you can gaze up, forward, behind you, whatever feels good. Think about both sides of the torso reaching up and back, right? So it's not just about opening up that left side. It's about both sides of the spine lengthening and then receiving that gentle compression as you reach back. And you're still sinking into the hips. Now on an inhale, come to center, heels in, toes out. From here, as you exhale, bend into your knees. Inhale, open up. Exhale, bends. Inhale, open. Just reconnecting with the breath. Exhale, bends. Inhale, open. From here, we're going to open up to the opposite direction. Change perspectives a little bit. Just passing through our warrior two here. We're going to pivot. So funky thunderbolt. I'm going to take my right hand back, left arm forward into this funky thunderbolt. Back knee can come down. You choose. Just lengthening up through the heart as you extend through the fingertips. Both hands can come back, come down to your hips, or both arms forward. Again, you play with the level of intensity that your body needs. And from here, we're going to bring both hands to your hips. We're going to pop that back foot forward a little bit. Okay, and rise. And so those of you that practice with me, you know I hardly ever practice warrior one. Okay, so it's a special case today. With your warrior one, you can see I have a very short warrior one. Okay, that's because if I open up more, I torque my lower back. If my foot goes back, I'm torquing. So you want to keep it where your pelvis is forward and the heart is lifted. This is a back bend from the shin all the way through the heart. Right, maybe you reach the arms up, maybe you can keep them at your heart or your hips. A couple more breaths here. Maybe you can practice bending and straightening into that front knee. If you're somebody that needs a lot more movement, because this first time you go through, we're really holding them a little bit longer, add movement. Right, it's whatever your nervous system needs. Now, in preparation for humble warrior, you're going to sweep those hands behind. Interlace the fingers, look up. Again, you can grab your towel, you can grab your strap if you'd like. And then as you exhale, humble warrior, fold forward. Now maybe some of you, you're resting on your thigh, okay? And that's enough. Maybe you're like, I don't want to do this part. Take your hands to your hips and just move your heart forward. You're going to practice melting your heart towards the earth, right? So I don't go very low in my pose, in my humble warrior. My humble warrior, I try really hard to surrender, but this is about what my body does, especially on this right side. So find that place. What can you surrender? Right? What is it you're attached to on the outside that you need to let go of for a minute? And now release those hands and come up on the back toe. We can go through a flow like we were doing earlier, or step it back into downward facing dog, right? So either go back into downward facing dog or go through your flow, stepping back, inhale, exhale, lower, Inhale, your back bends. Exhale, downward facing. So get ready on that other side. Inhale, right leg up, new side, new experience, flexing, stable. Exhale, knee to nose, plant the foot into your crescent, or bring the back knee down, bring that foot through and slowly rise. However you gotta get there. Again, intensity level, arms up, more intense, arms down, less intense. Again, see if you can engage that left thigh muscle. You press that heel back. When you're lifting up out of that pelvic floor. Another thing that tends to happen is sometimes you kind of dip into the hip. That's challenging on the back. So you want to engage right there. Lift up on that pelvic floor. Less is more. It's not all about flexibility. It's about stability, strength. And in preparation for your warrior three, maybe arms up, maybe reach them back, shift your weight forward, back foot flexed, right? Or come up and practice lifting that back leg up. So I've got this long line. So resist the urge to drop your shoulders, right? Instead, think about inhale, lengthening, crown to inset, wherever your arms are, doesn't matter. Again, right knee can be bent a little or a lot, maybe not at all. When you get ready, step that foot all the way back, inhale into your crescent. When you get ready for our twist. Exhale, left hand down, right arm up. Now again, back knee can come down here, right? You choose. And you want to lift up out of that left shoulder. We have to kind of dip into it. Lift up out of it. Grab a block if you need to place underneath your hands. Couple more breaths. Maybe even feel the heat. Notice how the postures affect your body. Is it good for your body? Right? Your nervous system, how you feeling? You can always ease out or add more. Now from here, when you take that back heel down, press into the earth, inhale, rise. Find your warrior two just for a moment when you set up that foundation. Knee above the ankle or slightly behind. Extend, turn the front palm up, inhale, reverse. Again, both sides of the torso reaching up and back. So notice if you're kind of dipping into that spine, we keep that length for support and stability, rather than worrying about the shape of the crescent. Okay, there's a crescent moon shape on either side. And on an inhale, we're gonna rise back to center. Now this time we're gonna take the heels out and toes in. We're gonna come into a wide leg forward fold. And you might even grab a block or two, if you have it, or books, whatever, to bring the earth to you, okay? Because you want to keep the spine long. Now to fold, you want to keep the hands at your hips. I bend my knees a lot because I do have lower back disharmony that I've been working through for years. So I keep my knees bent, okay? Inhale, lengthen, exhale, fold. Okay? Stop about halfway, then maybe press those upper thigh bones back and the heart forward. I'm starting engaging my thigh muscles to figure out where I am. Okay? I'm going to bring your hands to the blocks. Okay? So before we fold, we're going to come into a twist. So you're rooting down through the feet, lengthening through the crown of the head. Left hand to your block. Inhale, right arm up. Now, just like we did in the thread the needle, you can do here with your breath or hold it. Exhale through. Inhale, float it up, gaze up at your thumb. Exhale through. Inhale, gaze. One more, exhale through. Inhale, gaze. To bring that right hand down, readjust, hand underneath the heart. Inhale, left arm up. My tailbone's reaching back, my crown's reaching forward. Now you're welcome to hold or add the flow. Exhale through. Inhale up, keep that spine long. Exhale through. Inhale up. Exhale through. Inhale up. Then from here, you bring those hands back to your block. Maybe take it to the side. Bend into your knees, press for the feet. Inhale, rise, 5-pointed star. Warrior 2. So again, we're gonna pivot into the funky thunderbolt. Inhaling, right arm forward, left arm back. Now I'm up on my toes, but you're welcome to come down onto your knee. Both hands can go back if that feels better for you. If you want more intensity, reach the arms forward. You get to choose. Make sure you're zipping up, drawing that belly in towards the spine as you move the heart forward. Keep the stability in your hips. Couple more breaths. And then in preparation for warrior 1, you're gonna bring your hands to your hip, rise up, pop that back foot forward a little bit. So again, you choose how long your warrior 1 is. So on this side, I'm a little bit longer than I was on the other side. Okay? So maybe you bend and then straighten the front knee. Again, you shouldn't feel any compression in that lower back. You should feel lightness in the pelvis all the way up through the crown of the head. If you feel restriction in the lower back, you probably need to bring that back foot forward a little bit more. Now adding on for that humble warrior, inhale, extend. Exhale, take those hands behind you. Again, grab your strap or your towel if you'd like, or even just take your hands to your hips. Inhale, exhale, fold. So again, maybe some of you are resting on your thigh, maybe some of you come to the center a little bit more, but you're allowing the heart to sink. Notice if that left hip kind of swings out to the side, I'm gonna draw it in. Think more about surrendering the heart towards the earth, even if you're up high, right? You can think about, I'm gonna let my heart release. So again, think about what can you surrender? What can you let go of? Every pose has a story and something to teach us. Couple more breaths. Now release your hands, go through a flow or step back to downward facing, right? So your choice, downward facing or go through the flow. Add a couple of push-ups if you want up there. Again, whatever your practice needs today. Then right here, 3 cleansing breaths in child's pose or downward facing dog. Inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. So recommitment to the breath. And from here, go ahead and come onto your knees. So you're gonna have a couple of options here. We're just gonna do a little core work here with plank or forearm plank, okay? So I have a lot of challenge with my forearm plank again because of my shoulder. So when I practice this, I practice it here and then come down to my knees and practice that way, okay? Some of you might have no problem and you want to lift your leg, bring your knee to your shoulder. That's the only demonstration I'm giving. You can play with that or come up into your hands, practice your plank. We did this, I think, last week with the block in between the thigh. You bring that block in between the thighs, squeeze it, it'll stabilize your pelvis. Resist the urge to drop the head. When you drop the head, it collapses your shoulders. You keep the neck nice and long. It's a couple more breaths. Remember, if you start to hold your breath, it's time to come out, and then you take a breath, and then come back in. Okay, so you're playing with the idea of when do I hold my breath? Because that's when your nervous system goes, ugh. You notice that throughout the day. When you hold your breath, you're getting tense. It's usually from some thought or someone walking by you in the house in the wrong way. I'm always paying attention. Couple more breaths. Good, now slowly release all the way down. Maybe take your hands elbow to elbow. Maybe bend your knees, windshield wiper the feet side to side. And we're going to practice that flow one more time. I'm going to offer a couple of options if you'd like. And you can take them or not, right? So we're going to bring those hands underneath the shoulders. Exhale, everyone press back, child's pose. Curl the toes under. Exhale, Adho Mukha, downward facing. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, bring that leg through. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, hinge forward. Get ready. Warrior three, Virabhadrasana 3. Again, your way, whatever works. Step that foot back. Inhale, back into your crescent. Exhale, right hand down, left arm up. Now you have an option here. You can stay here, or maybe even down on your knee. Stay there, or inhale, lift your torso. And then if you feel good there, inhale, reverse it. Right? Your choice. Whatever feels best. Spiral the back foot down. Inhale, reverse. Next inhale, 5 pointed. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, funky thunderbolt. Left arm forward, right arm back, up on the back toes. Hands to your hips, back foot pops forward. Inhale, warrior 1. Exhale, sweep the hands behind you. Get ready. Exhale, humble warrior. Root through the feet. Bring those hands down. Step it back. Flow or meet me in downward facing dog. Your choice. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, bring it through. Crescent, however you got to get there. Exhale, warrior 3. Find your way there, whatever works for you. Trust that back foot to land. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, your twist. Right, so again, you can add on here if you want. Right, knee up or down, maybe the torso lifts. Maybe reverse. You choose. And from here, back foot spirals down. Inhale, reverse warrior 2. Inhale, 5 pointed. Now this time, heels out, toes in, hands to your hips. We're going to fold this time into a forward fold. So inhale, lengthen. Once again, maybe bend into your knees. Exhale, fold, belly, ribs, chest. Maybe the hands to your blocks or to the ground. You want to keep the spine long, so you don't want to be rounding and reaching for the earth. Keep it long, right? So the pelvis is rotating around the femur bone rather than rounding into the lower back. So you keep the tailbone in the crown of the head, moving in opposing actions. And I know some of y'all at home want to do your headstand or whatever. You do you. Whatever you want. Couple more breaths. Now to get ready to transition, bend into your knees, press through the feet. Inhale, rise, 5-pointed star, warrior 2, and then funky thunderbolt. Right hand forward, left arm back. From here, bring the hands to the hips, back foot pops forward, warrior 1. Inhale there. Sweep the arms behind, interlace, lift through the heart, exhale, fold. Bring those hands to the earth, step back, one more flow, or back into downward facing dog, your choice. Whatever you need. Now from there, to bend into your knees, walk your hands back. Root down through your feet, inhale, rise. Hands to the heart. So, in preparation for a little balance play, okay? So this is balance play from eagle pose, okay? So maybe the feet are about hip width apart, maybe they're together, it depends on your body. For most women, it's gonna be a little bit further apart, and men can usually bring them closer together, okay? Depends on how your femur bones are situated in your pelvis. So you're gonna bend your knees and reach the heart up, okay? So I'm gonna kind of build this. Hands to your hips. So you start with the legs first. Shift your weight into the left leg. Right leg lifts. Cross it over. Maybe the toes are on the earth. Maybe the foot lifts. Maybe you wrap. Your choice. You're going to squeeze those inner thighs together to lift through the heart. Maybe the arms are out to the side. You want to add your arms. Right, left arm over right. Maybe you grab your shoulders. Maybe palms together. Maybe you lift the elbow. Maybe you stay up, maybe as you exhale, you fold forward. Now I'm going to give you an option to hold wherever you are, or if you want to add that warrior three in this, add some movement, right? Maybe you unwrap that right leg reaches back. Maybe you add reverse eagle to that, right? Right? Again, any option, couple more breaths. Now unpretzel yourself. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, cleansing breath. Bend into your knees. Okay? So you're going to the other side, hands to your hips. Weight into the right foot, left leg lifts. Again, maybe the toes on the ground. Maybe you start lifting. Maybe you wrap. Okay? Your choice. Stay there or add your arms. This time, right arm over left. Breathing, maybe stay here. Maybe exhale as you hinge forward, reach through the crown of the head and back to the tailbone. Now you can stay there or unwrap it and reach that leg back. Maybe hold, maybe add reverse eagle, knee to calf or knee to knee. Eagle pose teaches us to look in all directions for clarity. And that's how we extend grace, right? So it's back to that grace idea. If we remain curious, we're not going to be married to our story or our opinion. We're going to be curious and look around for truth. Inhale, unpretzel. Exhale, cleansing breath. Then inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold. Take those hands forward, feet back. Exhale, lower. It's time for a little back bend. So toes down, hands underneath the shoulders. Maybe this is enough, right? So you're gonna zip up your pubic bone into your belly button. It's gonna draw the pubic bone towards your belly button. That'll create a little bit more space in your lumbar. Tops of the feet down, so big toe, pinky toe down, so that you're not crunching into that lower back. Hands here. If you want to add more, maybe extend your arms back, maybe come back into that bind that we've been working on. Maybe the feet lift. But as you go in, notice where you have compression in the spine. So if you're squeezing your glutes, and sometimes it starts to squeeze the glutes, notice if it goes right into that lumbar. If it does, make sure you're not squeezing your glutes. You're going to activate the glutes a little bit when you lift the legs anyway. So again, notice how the posture is making you feel. And as you're breathing this pose, you should feel yourself kind of bobbing up and down with your breath. The breath is that support. Now release out of your back bend, bring those hands underneath the shoulders. Let your forehead come down, just neutralize your spine for just a moment. We don't want to go straight back into that child's pose. Maybe again, windshield wiper your legs. And release the feet. Take your hands underneath the shoulders, slowly press back, child's pose, releasing that compression. Back to where we started. Hopefully it's a little bit different now. Inhale to slowly come up. When you come into a seated position, the feet out in front of you, just like so. As you exhale, drop your knees to your right. I've got my left knee coming to the instep of my right foot. So right here. So on an inhale, you're gonna lengthen through the spine. As you exhale, it's kind of a halfway twist, but I'm in my hip. So I'm shifting up on top of my right hip. So this is kind of a fold and also a twist. So to keep the spine long, as you exhale, lower. Maybe you lower all the way down. Maybe you have blocks. Or your bolster even. Whatever feels great. Those of you that have a lot more flexibility and you're not feeling it in your hip here, you're welcome to come into pigeon pose. Pigeon pose is a great option for those of you that aren't really getting the sensation in that right side. A couple more breaths here. Inhale to refill tension, exhale, release that tension. Now to come out, we're gonna take those hands underneath the shoulder. Inhale, slowly rise, keep the spine long. We come back to center. And then exhale, other side. So right knee to the instep of the left foot. Bring my left arm behind. Inhale, right arm reach up. Reach it around both sides of the torso line. Kind of hike up on top of that left hip. And then exhale, fold. And you might notice a significant difference on each side. Right, so it's not always gonna match. So meet yourself where you are. Again, inhale to tension, exhale, release. Keep coming back to your breath. Allow yourself grace, right? To just the last several minutes of class, just stay present, stay right here. And to exit, bring those hands underneath shoulders. Inhale, slowly rise. We're gonna come back to center, okay? And so for this next one, so wide leg forward fold or your butterfly pose. Again, I think I went over this last week or the week before, but when you sit on the very edge of the blanket, it helps, especially those of you that have any kind of back disharmony, making sure that when you're hinging forward, that's in the hips rather than rounding into the spine is helpful. So having that blanket there and just sit on the very edge is going to automatically shift your pelvis forward. So you can bring the soles of the feet together, especially if you don't have a lot of flexibility in your adductors. Otherwise, feel free to extend the legs out. Now again, we want to feel it in the meat of the muscle, hamstring, calf, not behind your knees, not up in your groin area. Don't go there, okay? You want to feel it in the muscle, okay? So don't worry about how close the forehead comes to the ground. I'd like to take my fingertips behind, lengthen through the crown. As I exhale, fold. So I'm going to find my range of motion, okay? And then bring my arms forward. And maybe you've got your bolster or your blocks, and bringing the earth to you. And maybe some of you are like this. You're like, eat. That's enough, okay? And as you're coming into it, again, notice, where do you feel it? Okay. Now, as you come into it, we're going to be here for maybe just a minute. Takes at least 30 seconds to get any kind of stretch reflex. So inhale where you feel that tension, exhale, let it go. And notice if your feet are just kind of hanging out, try to flex the feet. That way all the muscles are playing together. Couple more breaths. And to exit out and bring the hands under these shoulders. Engage the belly. Inhale, slowly rise. Okay. And bring those feet in if they're not already. And we're gonna get ready to come onto your backs. As we come onto our backs, what I want you to do is any kind of finishing posture you need, maybe as you come onto your back, you've got knees side to side, another happy baby. Anything that you need, because you want to get your wiggles out, because we're going to set up for Yoga Nidra. Now, you want to be super comfortable when you're practicing Yoga Nidra. So maybe for some of you, that means you're seated, right? Or you can lay down. Sometimes it's uncomfortable to lay for a long period of time. We're going to do it. It's probably going to take at least 10 to 15 minutes to do the process. So you want to make sure you're comfortable, because if you're not comfortable, your mind's not going to be able to settle. And we need the mind to settle in order to do that Yoga Nidra. So I suggest taking blocks or pillows, bolsters, whatever, underneath your knees at least, if you're going to lay down. So you have a little bit more support. And of course, if you tend to get chilly, you might want to cover up. It's normal for people to fall asleep in Yoga Nidra. If you've not practiced it before. So if that happens to you, that's okay. It's perfectly fine. As you're getting set up, you want to turn off, if you've got your playlist going, make sure you turn that off. And remember your sankalpa. Hopefully you've thought about that. You thought about your intention while we were practicing, something that you need to let go of. Something that you want, whatever it is. But remember, we want to find that sankalpa, and you want to repeat your sankalpa as if it's the present moment. Okay, and with feelings. So again, I am calm, I am safe, I am abundant. Whatever it is that you believe, you're gonna get that feeling, right? When we come into that, the place where we start to repeat our sankalpa. So right now you're settling in. And just allow your body to sink into the earth, into the chair, wherever you are. Just allow your body, it's like a sleeping baby, just to surrender, just let go. To become aware of your body. And know that right now, nothing else matters. There's nothing else to do. We're just here in this moment. Begin in your mind's eye to visualize the room that you're in. The four walls, the floor, the ceiling. Visualize your body in that room. Visualize the clothing that you're wearing. Know that it's okay if you drift off and don't hear everything that I say. Just know that your core self is always listening. There's no wrong way to practice Yoga Nidra. So now begin to tap into your breath. So inhale, your body feels light, open. Exhale, the body becomes heavy, releasing, surrendering to the earth. Feel your body surrender. Know that anytime if you feel discomfort in your body or the suggestion doesn't work for you, feel free to come out. You're in charge. Now think of your sankalpa, your intention, and repeat it 3 times in your mind with feeling. Now begin a journey of scanning the body. So simply just take your attention to these areas of the body as you hear them named. We'll come first to the mouth. So become aware of your mouth. Feel the sensation in your mouth. Feel your jaw, your lips, upper lip, lower lip. Notice where the lips touch. Feel the inside of the mouth, the roof, the tongue, the upper teeth, lower teeth. Notice any taste in the mouth. Begin to feel the left inner cheek, the right inner cheek. Now bring all those parts together as a whole. Now drawing attention to your ears, the top of your head, the back of the head, the face. And taking the journey down the right side of the body, drawing your attention to the right shoulder, the right elbow, the wrist, each finger, the entire hand, the entire arm, the whole right side of your torso from shoulder to pelvis. Draw attention to the right side of your pelvis, the right thigh, the knee, the calf, the ankle, the toes of the foot, the whole foot, the whole right lower part of the body from pelvis to foot. Now draw attention to the whole right side of the body, from the side of the head all the way down to the heel. And drawing attention to now the left side of the body, starting at the shoulders. Noticing the shoulder, the left elbow, the left wrist, the fingers of the left hand, the whole left hand, the whole left arm. Drawing attention again to the left side of the torso, from the shoulder to the pelvis. Feel the whole left side. Bring now your attention to the left side of the pelvis, the left hip, the left thigh, the knee, ankle, all the toes on the left foot, the whole left foot, the whole left leg, from the pelvis all the way down to your ankle. Feeling the whole left side of the body, from the left shoulder all the way down, from the left side of your face all the way down. Feel the whole left side. Now draw your attention to the whole right side of the body. Feel the right side. Now to the left side of the body, feel the left side. Now take yourself to the left side and the right side. Just practice shifting the feeling of sensation in your minds from left to right. Now begin to feel the whole body, the whole body, the whole body. So continue to bring your attention back to the whole body. If you have an area of your body that's has discomfort and it's healing, you may draw your attention to that place as I play the singing bowls. Just keep bringing yourself back to the body. Repeat your sankalpa, your intention 3 times in your mind with feeling. And begin to bring your attention back to your breath. Inhaling peace and calm through every cell of the body. And as you exhale, releasing any leftover tension, fears, worries out through the soles of the feet, let it go. And slowly begin to bring your attention back to your body. Maybe rolling your wrists and ankles, moving your head side to side. Maybe as you inhale, float your arms overhead. Give yourself a final big stretch. If you're still on the ground, draw your knees to your chest. I'm going to slowly turn to your right side. And using your left hand, slowly push yourself up to a comfortable seated position. And then placing your hands at your heart center. So again, the idea of extending grace. In order to extend grace from others, it first has to come to ourselves. And that grace is meeting us exactly as we are, even if it's those parts of us that we try to push away. There's always a learning experience. So in your mind, repeat, with great respect and love, I honor my heart, my true teacher. And then bringing the palms together in Anjali Mudra. Ceiling class with 3 ohms. You're welcome to join or listen to those around you. If you're practicing with anybody, so used to doing this in a group. Inhale. Om.